שלום.
הסיפור בעצם מתחיל יום שישי, שאני מחליף את הרב שאתה אחראי ביטחון בקיבוץ.
Okay, so first of all, his name's Hagiv. And he says the story actually starts on October the 6th, on the Friday, where he replaces the head of the civil security unit because he was going up north for the holiday, because it was Shabbat and Simchat Torah.
6:26 בבוקר.
So at 6:26 in the morning,
מתחיל יירוט מטורף.
it says it start rocket fire, unbelievable, something that is absolutely not normal.
אני לוקח את הילדים לממ"ד.
So he takes his kids and puts them in the mamad, in the security room.
ובאותו רגע ממש במטח הראשון יש לי נפילה בתוך החצר בבית.
So right in the beginning, a rocket falls in his garden of his home.
הילדים נכנסים לממ"ד ואני רץ בעצם מקפיץ את כל הכיתת כוננות.
So the kids are in the mamad here in Kibbutz Sa'ad. They live here in Kibbutz Sa'ad. So he puts the kids in the mamad. So he straight away goes out and gets all of the kitat kononut, which is the civil squad or the first responder unit of Kibbutz Sa'ad. He gets them all prepared for whatever's going to happen.
אנחנו חותמים על נשקים בעצם ומגיעים לכל העמדות. מתחילים לאייש את כל השערים.
אז כל הנשקים בנשקייה.
כל הנשקים בנשקייה.
So what you have to realize is they don't have their guns at home. The guns are actually in a gun locker room. So they have to go there, open it up. Everyone has to sign for a gun. כמה יש בכיתה?
12.
So they have 12 people signing the guns and then they go out to their assigned positions.
תסביר להם שאחת הצרות הגדולות של כל הכיתות כוננות שהנשקים לא היו אצלהם בבית.
So one of the problems of most of the civil squads where they were attacked immediately was the guns were not in their homes, so they were gunless and had to try and get to the gun depository, and they were usually shot down before they even got there. That was in most of the other places because they were attacked immediately.
אנחנו מחתימים את הכיתה הזה, אני מחתים אותם על נשקים, ואנחנו כל אחד מגיע לשער, לחלוקה של השערים במרחב בקיבוץ.
So each of them go to their assigned places on the gates of the kibbutz. It's a big kibbutz. כמה אנשים יש בקיבוץ?
יש 900, 1,000 איש, 200 משפחות.
So there are 1,000 people, 200 families live in the kibbutz, so it's quite big and they all go to their places that they're meant to guard.
ואז אני מגיע לפה לשער.
So he gets here to the gate.
בשלב הראשון מגיע בחור מכיוון מפלסים.
So right in the beginning, a guy arrives here from מפלסים, that direction.
שהוא ירוי בגב שלו, הוא הרכב הראשון שמגיע לפה.
So a car comes here, he's also a medic, and he pulls him out, he sees he's injured, he looks, he's got 2 gunshot wounds in the back.
אנחנו מכניסים אותו פנימה, משכיבים אותו.
They take him inside and lie him down.
ודבר ראשון חוסמים את הציר נסיעה.
And then what he does is he straight away closes off this road because he realizes that anyone going that way is going to get shot at.
באותו רגע מתחילים להגיע בין 150 ל-200 חבר'ה מהמסיבה ברכבים ומחזירים את כל הציר הזה.
150 to 200 people start arriving in their cars from the party. They've run away from the festival and they come here and they basically just block and he's blocked off here, so everything just stops here. So he's going to show you a picture.
They're trying to go up north now.
They're trying to go north because that's the way to Tel Aviv, but that's been blocked.
would have been to go south.
Okay, but they get here and this is where he stops them. And he has a picture of what it looked like.
From the gate.
You know, from the camera on the gate, what it looked like that morning.
And did you know at this point that there were all these מחבלים that had come?
אתה ידעת שיש מחבלים בכל מקום בשלב הזה?
באותו רגע הבנו שיש מחבלים מכיוון מפלסים ואנשים שמגיעים אירועים ופצועים מכיוון...
So what he knows at that point is that there are terrorists down that direction and he knows there was a large terrorist attack at the party. That's all he knows.
וכמה, באיזה שעה עכשיו?
איזה שעה זה?
זה 7:15 בבוקר.
At 7:15.
זה 7:49, the clock is... זה התמונה של השער שאנחנו עומדים.
Wow. And people are like
Straggling
walking around. They're not like.
This is the guys from the party. All this is car.
Yeah. So it's all blocked.
And because he's blocked it here, they wanted to continue. If they would have kept going, they would have been shot at and killed. So he doesn't really, he knows that he did the right thing, blocking it here and getting them into the kibbutz.
Yes. incredible.
All these
How did you get them into the kibbutz?
No, he opens.
I know, but where did they go when they were?
Whatever. תן לו להמשיך עם פה.
This guy go inside to Kfar Aza. This is me.
Right. Wow.
And we start to fix everything here. Don't let the people to go to this
Go
side.
there.
עכשיו, כל הזמן, תגיד להם, ארי, שכל הזמן מגיעים אנשים. כל
So
הזמן
there were
מגיעים.
always, there was
Loads of
all the
people.
time, there were loads and loads of people turning up here.
So they'll just.
And so he
ferry
was just
everything.
getting them through there. But there were a lot of injuries as well. So straight away they're doing triage
אנחנו-
because he's also a medic.
אנחנו לוקחים את כל הפצועים ואנחנו מתחילים למיין אותם לפי רמות הפציעה.
So there's a lot of injured people, and what he's doing is based on how injured they are, is either they're actually patching them up here or they're sending them through to the mirpa'ah, the clinic that they have on the kibbutz.
אנחנו מרכזים את כל החבר'ה שמגיעים בעצם למבנה שנקרא בית שקמה. כולם מרוכזים באותו מקום.
So everyone that arrives here, they put in a place in a beit shikma, which is, is let's say the recreation hall of the kibbutz.
איזה חבר'ה שהגיעו מהמסיבה, חבר'ה שאיבדו את הבנות זוג
So
שלהם.
they don't know, the people that are arriving here from the party, they don't know where their husband or wife are, their partners, their brother, their sister, friends. It's an absolute.
חלקם בוכים, חלקם לא מבינים בכלל מה קורה.
So they've escaped and they have no idea what's going on, and they're in shock, total shock.
אנחנו מקבלים עוד כמה פצועים שהיו פה בתחנת דלק, אנחנו רצים להביא אותם לפה.
So they understand there are more injured people over at the petrol station that's just up here, so they go run up there and bring them here as well.
כל הפצועים קשה אנחנו מעלים על רכבים שלנו ואנחנו מתחילים להוציא אותם לכיוון נתיבות.
So all the difficult cases where people have been injured, they put them on their cars and they start taking them to Netivot because that's the closest place that the MDA say they can get to with their ambulances.
בשלב מסוים נכנסים 3 חבר'ה לכפר עזה.
So, מאיפה השלושה?
השלושה מסעד
Okay,
נכנסים.
so there are three guys here, younger guys who've been in the army and היה להם נשקים.
אני נתתי להם את הנשקים שלנו ואת האפודים שלנו.
So he gives his M16 and his vest to these 3 younger guys who say they need to go into Kfar Aza because they hear there are terrorists there and they want to go and try and stop the terrorists there.
לנו הצבא, אני התקשרתי לצבא והם אמרו לנו עכשיו זה רק אתם.
Okay, so what happens is Kita Kononot, these civil security units that are meant to guard here, they're meant to be here for half an hour, maximum 45 minutes until the army comes. That's all they're trained, just hold for half an hour. When he called the army, they said, you're all by yourselves. We're not coming. You need to stay here and guard your kibbutz. We have no idea what's going on.
אחרי שנתתי לבחור את האפוד ואת הנשק, אני שם על האפוד של חובש, אפוד קרמי של חובש של איחוד הצלה.
Okay, so once he's given his ceramic vest and his gun to the guys who go into Kfar Aza, he goes and gets his vest that he has because he's also a medic. So his United Hatzalah vest, he puts it on. And so now he's seen as he's also now the medic.
9. והכוח הראשון שהגיע לפה בסביבות 9:20, מגיע כוח צבאי מנחל עוז של סוואנה, דוד, שזה ג'יפ, ועוד אמר. זה הכוח הראשון שמגיע. אני הולך, שם את הטלפון שלי נפל פה. נשבר הטלפון, אני שם אותו בטעינה, נגמרה הסוללה. ואני ניגש לחבר'ה שבאים מהכביש הנגדי, מהצד הנגדי.
So he sees 3 military vehicles. The first idea vehicles he sees is one Savannah, which is a Jeep like in Fauda, David, which is a bulletproof Jeep, and behind it a Hummer. And they stop here. He at the same time has dropped his phone and it also is running out of battery, so he goes and puts it inside to charge, and he comes back out here and he goes across the road to talk to them. So he has a photo that when the cars have arrived.
כמה אנשים פה מהמסיבה?
כמה אנשים מהמסיבה?
200.
About 200 came in.
זה הכלים של הצבא שהגיעו. הם הגיעו ראשונים.
וואו.
אתם רואים, זה הרכבים, הם הגיעו לפה, זה הרכבים הראשונים של הצבא שהגיעו, ואני עולה עם הרכב הראשון. I'm go with the first car,
Yes.
the Savannah, the Chevrolet, and we going inside to
אבל למה יצאת? הצבא אמר לך לשב?
לא, אני עמדתי פה,
כן.
הרב שץ הגיע, הרב שץ הגיע ב9:15.
So the guy came back from the north, that was the head of this squad, came back from his holiday from the north,
ואז אני אומר
and
לו,
so he says,
אוקיי,
I've got to go. And he gets in the savannah as a medic
טוב,
and as a fighter.
אני גם קודם כל מעביר לו את האחריות.
Yeah,
אמרתי
he
לו,
gives
אוקיי,
him the responsibility
it's
back
you, I'm
of
finished my
Kibbutz.
job.
I'm finished his job, and he goes. Now, one thing that Hagiv didn't say, Hagiv is also a trained driver of Yatar, of the vehicles, Achshav and Turiel. So he had trained to be on the ATV, so he always took on extra. Medic, head of this, also the ATV driver.
כיבוי אש, משטרה.
And so he's also a police and also fire, so he does it all.
כמו סופרמן. כן.
Yeah.
ואז אני עולה לסוואנה, אנחנו נכנסים
So he
לכפר
goes in
עזה.
in the van and they go into Kfar Aza.
נכנסים, עוקפים את כפר עזה, פורקים את הרכב ומתחילים לסרוק בתים, כשכל זה גופות של אנשים זרוקות לאורך כל
So as he turns the corner and he goes towards Kibbutz Aza, he gets out of the car and they start going in, but at the same time they're seeing dead bodies lying everywhere all around the entrance, and they realize that it's a big event, and so they actually start going house by house.
בית ראשון אנחנו מוצאים משפחה שלמה שנרצחה, ואז אנחנו ממשיכים לעבור מבית לבית.
So the first house they go in, there's a whole family murdered in the house. They check them, they see no pulse, no nothing. They go on to the next house.
בבית הרביעי אנחנו שומעים צעקות מהחלון
So
של
the fourth
הצידו.
house, they hear shouting, "Help us, help us!"
אנחנו מסתכלים מהחלון,
So they look in the window.
והאבא משפחה שוכב על הרצפה, שכל הידיים שלו מפורקות.
So in the window, he looks in the window of the mamad, which is where the security room, and he basically get up and they look in and he sees the father is lying on the ground, blood everywhere, and his hands are basically blown off.
עם הבת שלו ואשתו.
And his wife and his daughter is there.
ואז הם מספרים שהאבא נלחם עם המחבלים על הידית של הממ"ד. במשך כמה דקות נכנסו 20 מחבלים, הוא פשוט החזיק את הדלת, לא נתן להם לפתוח את הדלת של הממ"ד.
So what happens is at the security door, it can be locked, but the person on the outside can unlock it because just about putting up the handle, that's how you lock it. And so what happened was 20 terrorists came into their home, they're in the security room, and there's a fight over them trying to unlock it and he's trying to hold it up. And he does that and he keeps holding it up.
הם ירו על הדלת.
And they're firing bullets at the door and it's not going through.
כשהם לא הצליחו לפתוח, הם פשוט הצמידו מטען חבלה.
So as soon as they weren't able to open it that way, they put an explosive device on the handle and
ואז המטען התפוצץ, כשהאבא בעצם מחזיק, ובגלל זה כל הידיים שלו התפרקו.
so it exploded as he's holding it and it all blew and his hands were also blown off.
כשאני נכנס, אני עושה לו חוסם עורקים לשתי הידיים.
אבל מה שלא אמרת, מה קרה לזה? But because it exploded, they couldn't then open the door. That was
הדלת פשוט
it
התפרקה.
expanded, so and it
הדלת
got
כל
warped, and there was no way to open it after
אי
that.
אפשר היה לפתוח ולסגור את הדלת. אני נכנס, אני מטפל בו.
So he goes in the window, he goes into the medic, and he starts treating him.
עושה לו חסימת עורקים, הוא משקיע אותו בהרבה
So
מים.
tourniquet, he does puts tourniquets on to stop the bleeding.
האבא לא מפסיק לצעוק מכאבים.
So the father is just screaming from the pain that is happening on it. He gives him washes him and gives him water.
וכל הזמן הוא פשוט מרגיש שהוא הולך למות, שזה
So all
הנשימות
the time he's
האחרונות שלו.
saying, "This is I'm about to die." It's his last breaths. He's about to die from the pain.
מבקש להתקשר לילדים שלו, להיפרד מהם, להתקשר לכל המשפחה.
So he asked to ring his other kids and say goodbye to them because this is his last moments.
ככה אני מטפל בו כמעט 6 שעות, 6
So
וחצי שעות.
6.5 hours he's dealing with this situation in that mamad.
A lot of blood over there.
There's like blood everywhere.
שעה אחרי שהייתי שם, שלושת החבר'ה שיצאו מפה, אחד נפצע והצליח לברוח, והשניים רצו אליי לממ"ד.
So what happened was the 3 guys that had left here that he'd given his gun and his vest to, one of them had got injured, the 2 others ran and also came to the mamad where he was.
אחד מהם נורא, קיבל 2 כדורים ללחי.
2 bullets into their jaw, one of them got.
ואז הוא נכנס אליי, עשיתי לו
And so he
חבישה,
gets to
כי
him.
כל כולו היה דם.
Bandages him up, cleans him up, he's full of blood.
לאחר מכן, אחרי 6 שעות, הילדה שלו שומעת, אנחנו שומעים כוח של צבא סורק מסביב לבית.
Okay, so after 6 hours, the daughter hears soldiers, thinks they're soldiers, and they're going around the house finding out what's going on.
אז היא פותחת את הדלת, היא צועקת הצילו הצילו וקופצת החוצה.
Okay, so she דלת או חלון?
החלון,
So
סליחה.
she opens up the window and basically screams, help us, and jumps out as soon as she sees that there are soldiers there.
והיא אומרת שפשוט לא עניין אותה שום דבר, היא רצתה להציל את אבא שלה.
So her only interest was to save her father. That was all she was doing, trying to save her father.
אותו חייל שעובר שם, הקצין במגלן, קופץ פנימה, נכנס לתוך הממ"ד, הוא מסתכל על האבא ואנחנו מקבלים החלטה שכולנו מוציאים אותו ומעבירים אותו לבית ליד. היה בית של חובש ליד, שהיה לו עירוי ורצינו לתת לאותו אבא עירוי, כי זה הדבר היחיד שהיה מחזיק אותו עוד כמה שעות בחיים.
So this officer from Maglan got there, jumped in through the window, sees that they need to get them out as soon as possible. They decide to go out. They know there's another house of a medic of Kfar Aza that has a transfusion, like the necessary things to do a transfusion. They realize that's the only thing that's going to keep him alive. So they want to get him to this other house.
אנחנו מגיעים לבית של החובש.
So they get to it. I mean, we saw the window. It's like it's about it's about 2 meters above the ground. So they have to get this guy who believes he's about to die, whose hands have been blown off, they have to get him out of that window without killing him. And they're also, it's very complicated because they're also still hearing gunfights between terrorists and the soldiers, and they don't know what's going on, but they know they have to get him to save his life to this other home that has the transfusion. So at the same time, they're still getting rockets being fired in and red alerts. And they're hearing shots happening from all over the place and terrorists going, running around.
אחרי שמעבירים את האבא ואת הפצוע לשם, מגיעים אלינו עוד פצוע חייל ממגלן שנפצע עם 2 כדורים בחזה. היום בדיעבד, רק היום, הבנתי ממישהו שזה אותו בחור שעזר לנו, להוציא אותו בעצם מהממ"ד. הוא פשוט הוציא מהממ"ד והלך עם הכוח להמשיך להסתער.
So that same officer that jumped in the window to help him get the guy out, later actually came back with 2 bullet holes in his chest, and he died eventually, but they tried to help him because they brought injured people to where he was, and they were trying to save them.
אנחנו נמצאים בבית של החובש כמו חצי שעה בערך, ואז אנחנו מחליטים להוציא את הפצועים, את ארז זה שנפצע בידיים, זה שקיבל את הכדורים, והחייל שהגיע מהפציעה בחזה. הקצין מזניק לפה מסוק לסעד למנחת, ומחליטים להוציא אותם החוצה.
So about half an hour of being in that second home, they decide they need to get them the badly wounded out. So they've organized for a helicopter to come here to take them. Right, so they have to get them from Kfar Aza back to here onto the helicopter to take them away. That's the guy that out of the 3, the one that got shot 2 bullets here, the one that got shot in the hand, and also that soldier that had 2 bullet wounds in his chest.
אני מציע להם שאני זה שיצטרף החוצה לליווי, ואני אומר לחבר'ה שאני אעלה החוצה, ואז הם אומרים לי שיש פה, עדיף שאני אשאר כחובש, שצריכים כוחות של רפואה, שישארו פה בתוך
So he says he'll take them out and he'll make sure they get on the helicopter and explain to them what's happening, and they actually say that no, they need him as a medic to stay in Kfar Aza to continue to treat wounded soldiers and civilians that were coming.
כשהם יוצאים מכפר עזה, הילדה מדברת עם אמא שלה, הילדה נשארה איתנו, היא מדברת עם אמא שלה, ואז הם מגיעים לשער של כפר עזה ונפתח עליהם אש של צלף, שהבחור שבעצם הייתי צריך להחליף אותו קיבל כדור בראש ונהרג, עוד קצין ממגלן.
So he had tried to convince them that he should go out with them to get them onto the helicopter. No, you stay here, you're a medic. Another soldier took them out. When they get out the gate, and the girl who stayed behind is talking to the mother, a terrorist sniper starts shooting at them, and the guy that took his place and said to take them out was shot in the head and killed.
And
yeah, it's wow.
מוציאים אותם החוצה, ארז חי, שני החיילים הקצינים ממגלן נהרגו, וגם אהרון חזר להילחם אחרי שבועיים, הוא עבר ניתוחים, הוציאו לו את הכדורים.
So the guy who got the 2 Maglan officers were killed, but the guy that went in there and had been shot twice in the jaw, he was already 2 weeks later back fighting with his unit.
גם ארז, הבחור עם הידיים, עבר סדרה ארוכה, הוא של ניתוחים, הוא נכנס לחדר טראומה, הוא הטיס אותו לתל השומר, וגם הוא חי
So
ועובר
the
שיקום.
guy whose hands have blown off errors, he actually lived, and they got him to tell a shomer. They
הכניסו
saved
אותו
his
לתל
life.
השומר והוא הצליח. עכשיו הוא בתל השומר, חיברו לו את כל הכפות ידיים בניתוחים, עשו לו ניתוחים פלסטיים. רק
They reattached all his fingers.
רק הזרת מתפקדת, כל היתר
One
זה
works and
אסתטי.
the others are just
לא
aesthetic.
ביוניק. בלי ביוניק.
Not bionic at this stage. לא משהו עם מכונה.
זה סור האצבעות.
האצבעות
בתיק או שמי